Good morning.
Good afternoon, good evening, or good night, based on where in the world you're watching from. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a message and comments down below. It's a time of chaos, time of confusion, as you listen to most of the journalists who's reporting on the war that's happening in the Middle East between the US of A, Israel, and Iran. It's real serious. You know, before Donald Trump take office, he run said he will not start a war. Last year he said he in 8 wars, but yet he started the biggest war. So can you believe politician? Because if a politician tell you he not gonna start a war, he end 8 wars, and all of a sudden 1 year later he start one of the biggest war in my lifetime. At first he go in and start with NATO. He say don't want NATO not paying enough. So he and them get into it. So no, none of those allied ain't fighting with him. Australia said, "Hey, we don't want to be a take no part in this war." Canada said the same. Now most Americans they are saying those countries are cowards. They are a bunch of cowards because they are not gonna fight with America. But they are saying there's a lot of casualty because that's the only thing within a war. It's a lot of casualty, a lot of innocent life going to last who have nothing to do with the war. Now we see where Iran, everywhere in Middle East that US have base, they said they are hitting those countries. And our president state that he's willing to talk no. But the Iranian interim leader said, hey, we're not gonna talk on your terms, we're gonna talk on our terms when we ready to talk. And he said that was the first wave of attack. So the second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh and eighth attack is gonna be worse than the first attack. So we see where the Middle East is in a chaotic space right now, all because when our leader failed to negotiate and fail to think about the lives of the people. Because the president was stating, hey, we get to liberation for the people. If we take out the leader, then the people will be free. So now he's asking for the military, the Iranian military, to take over the country to bring peace and to see if they can stop the rest of the country around them. Now you start to ask yourself the question, and ask your president, your congressman, your senators, all of them who was in the situation room watching epic theory. Did it worth it? Any of those guys who in the epic theory room, any of their children in the military overseas, in any of those bases, whether Jordan, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, any of their children overseas fighting. Ask yourself the question, because once you sign up to say, yeah, you're gonna represent your country, and they deploy you to those countries, you think it was peace and safety because they said, oh, it's America and Israel fighting Iran, so we are safe. So we are safe. They're not gonna attack us because it's Iran. We already hit their missile and get rid of the leader, so they're not gonna retaliate. But when and I was listening to the foreign minister, and he was saying if America hit us, it's gonna be catastrophe. It's gonna be something that they've never witnessed before. I was like wondering how he gonna hit America because that's what 700,000 miles away. So how? I don't think no missile from Iran can reach the shore of America. But little did we know that all those bases was close by, and it was all American on those bases, from Jordan to Kuwait to Qatar to Saudi Arabia to Israel. They said we don't have to fire all the way into America. We could fire right over here. Now, if you have any family member in the military station in any of those countries, you got to pray because they're scared. They are scared. They are scared because they are saying that drone is not plane they're flying, it's drone. And those drones are coming, those drones are coming. So all when they bomb them, destroy them in the air, they still dropping and blowing up. If you haven't seen the news, it's devastating. The news that coming out of the Middle East, everyone is scared. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Jordan, all of those countries. And it's only getting worse. It says what? 2 to 3 US military lost their life and quite a few of them is injured. Serious condition. Now the president willing to negotiate. They never think of the repercussion or the retaliation that Iran was going to. Because they're saying that 30% of the world oil come out of that region. And if 30% of that oil come out of that region and they close, they close the region. So if they close that region and 30% of the oil that come out of that region, what do you think gonna happen? Price of oil gonna goes through the roof. So now President Donald J. Trump and Netanyahu, both of them start to question the decision that they make. They did vote it because hey, they said they ain't gonna stop fighting anytime soon. So the only thing U.S. and Israel is hoping for that they run out of ammunition. That's the only thing they are praying for them to run out of ammunition. Because if they run out of ammunition, then the war can come to an end. But if they continue to fire those drones in the air and continue, it's gonna be a bloodbath. Because it's not gonna be like Palestinian and Israel, where the Palestinian wasn't firing back or fighting back hard enough. Iranian is not like that. They are firing. But war don't benefit. the poorer class. It's only benefit the rich, because the rich kids don't go in the military. The rich and wealthy, no. It's only the poorer class. I have several friends who have children who choose the military, and I'm praying for them. And I see, like, what, years ago with Louis Farrakhan, he was stating, if America and Israel ever strike Iran, it's gonna be a biblical ending, because it's gonna be like in Revelation. Let's say world come to an end. And we see right now what is happening. All what was going on was all distraction. And we have a braggadocious president who loved to brag and boast. He was brag and boasting about the whole taking out Maduro. And he was boasting about it. When it just happened and they were showing pictures of him in the situation room talking about epic fury. Now he can't talk about epic fury anymore because it's more than fury right now. It's more than epic fury because it's serious. He said we're gonna have some loss of life, but it's gonna be for future generation. It's just mind-boggling when you voting for a president who said, "Hey, we're not gonna have any war." And all of a sudden, first he bring in tariff and squeeze the life out of all American citizens with tariff by you paying more. So small businesses start to close left, right, and center. Then inflation start to rise. People start to lose their homes. People start to lose their cars, and the economy start to take a hold on people. Then he waged war against American citizens with ice in the street, unaliving people. And then he said, "Hey, we're gonna war with Greenland because Greenland is supposed to be our land." He never realized that Greenland was a part of NATO and America was a part of NATO, all because of the rare mineral earth that Greenland have. And every country that have it, America want piece of it because they can extend their military or their arsenal or the nuclear. Then he went into Venezuela take over Venezuela. So yeah, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start to produce the oil. We're gonna sell the oil and keep the money. Then we put a sanction on Cuba. So there's no oil can go to Cuba. And then we're gonna hit. We're gonna this remember NATO, and we're gonna hit Iran. Because if we hit Iran, then we can control the West, and Israel control the East. But little did they know that Iran was planning all these years and scout out everywhere they have base in the Middle East. As I said, we may not be able to hit America in America, but we can hit these bases from Iran. And that's what they're doing. So we have a chaos president in the White House, just creating havoc and mayhem all over the globe. And what he didn't understand is that the American military spread so thin. They spread so thin. Now you gotta ask yourself the question: when we vote for a person to represent us, do they care about us? Do they care about ordinary citizens? Because all of them in the situation room watching Epic Fury was all laughing when it happened. Are they laughing now? Because I have a lot of friends who their children serving in the military in the Middle East. Quite a few of them is in the hospital right now because what they're here coming out of the Middle East. And they take away all of their devices so they can't communicate with them. They can't communicate. They close all communication down because they take away all of their phones. But when their children it sign up for the military and they tell them, hey, we're gonna send you to Jordan, or we're gonna send you to Kuwait, or we're gonna send you, that was what they were planning. But hey, we're gonna put these soldiers right here and we are going into a war. But until tomorrow morning, if you have any family member or children that's in the military, our thoughts and prayer are with you. Blessings until tomorrow. Walk good.